Hello and welcome to this video on how to use the AWIN affiliate network. This video will cover how to do essential tasks on AWIN through a series of examples and tips. Before we start, to respect AWIN and client data, some parts of the AWIN platform are hidden. Let's kick off then. The first thing you should see when you log into AWIN is the dashboard. Point 1, we see the first month breakdown, which can also be toggled to year versus year. On point 2, we see some quick stats and statuses. On 3, we see the AWIN index score. It's important advertisers pay attention to this because it's how affiliates will judge if they want to work with some advertisers. And on point 4, we have the action list where particular actions can be quickly accessed taken. If it's your first time using AWIN, this may look completely different and may not be populated, but it's not to worry. As your program grows and scales, you will eventually have a dashboard that looks something like this. So we'll start with how to set up your AWIN. Firstly, what you want to do is go to Accounts and then navigate to Profile. You'll want to upload a logo and you'll then want to add a summary and a profile section. My recommendations are on summary and profile is to make them very appealing to affiliates and to talk to the right audience, which is an affiliate audience. If you see here for my example, I've got how it works and who should apply, reasons to join, followed by bullet points, a link to the website, and a small part on about us, and then how to contact me to work with this particular client. There are other parts to profile, but the main one is the program terms. Within the program terms, you'll find tabs for general, PPC, transactions, branding, notice period, publishers, and deduplication. Now, these are all very specific to individual brands, and I would say to have a look and do what is relevant. One of the most important things is that your program has terms. And if you need any help with your program terms, just leave a comment or check the last portion of the video for how to get in touch with me. Next, you'll want to, again, go back to the Accounts tab and navigate to Contact Details. Fill in the relevant details, and this is important for affiliates to be able to get in touch with someone at the business. Next, you should check the partnership settings. On Public Details, you'll want to put a very catchy strapline about your business and its slogan, and then a brief description. This is a consumer-facing communication and not for affiliates. This is just something affiliates will use to communicate your brand to their audience. The welcome email is affiliate-facing and is what is sent to each affiliate when they join your program. So I would recommend having, for example, for them to get in touch and speak to you so they can find out more about your brand, how to speak about your brand. But generally, if you just tell them to get in touch with you, you can cover off all the important things. Next, there's tracking and domains. This is something that you may not necessarily need to check all the time, but you should check it. On point 1, you have the tracking defaults, point 2, valid domains, and point 3, any custom tracking. If we look at point 4, you'll be able to see which URLs are being used. Point 5 may be important if you want to use Google Analytics or another third-party software to also back up your AWIN tracking, and you can see what the click append will look like there. You'll also be able to see what the validation window, so the validation being the period of time before you approve an affiliate for a commission from a sale. And in point 7, I recommend ticking email notifications, definitely on auto validation, but you can also do it per transaction. Say, for example, if your program's just started and you want to know when sales are coming in, that could be a handy way of finding out, but you may want to turn that off if you have a lot of sales coming through. Next, onto sector categorization. Not something that you'll necessarily need to check all the time, but this just allows affiliates to find advertisers that work in particular sectors. So just make sure that the right sectors are selected for you. On account users, Again, this part is just for affiliates to see who the point of contact is for your affiliate marketing account with AWIN. So just make sure the relevant people are toggled for show and anyone else is toggled for hide. And account permissions, this basically just allows different levels of access in regards to your brand on the AWIN platform. So you may want to have admin access for more senior personnel and for more junior personnel or personnel that may not necessarily need to have any sort of advanced access to AWIN. They could be set as viewer or restricted viewer. Contact permissions, and again, this is just so affiliates can see name, address, telephone number. Generally recommend to have these all on show so it's easy for affiliates to get in contact with someone. Advice then on setting up AWIN is make sure the profile is very catchy and the language and what is being said and sort of the merits of working with you are all catered towards affiliates. Make sure that you have good program terms that protect your brand. And again, if you need any help on terms, just leave a comment or get in touch. Make sure that there's easy points of contact and contact details are included. And just double check the UTM and tracking, so the click append that I mentioned earlier, to make sure that's correct. Next, on to finding affiliates and how you do that. So that is on the Publisher tab, and you navigate to Publisher Directory. What you'll want to do is, as you'll be presented with this screen, and then if we look at point 1, make sure you're on the right tab. So you may want to begin your search with not invited if you've never invited anyone to your program. If not, you can then go to all, which will display all affiliates you have or haven't invited. You want to untick incomplete because I don't recommend trying to get in touch with publishers that couldn't be bothered to complete their profiles. Usually not a good indicator. And then you want to check the defaults. Under the promotional types and sector, your sheet says show my sectors or show all sectors. You just want to make sure that the relevant toggles are selected and the relevant regions. Once you've done that, then you can then you could then actually begin a search by using the search bar. It's important to note that the search bar searches for keywords or names or titles that the affiliate has. So just bear that in mind when you're performing a search. You want to make sure that the correct affiliate type is selected. So for example, you may not want to work with a particular type of affiliate, so you could always unselect those. Again, check sectors and locations to make sure those all make sense. When you've done that then, and you've got some results, you can then increase the results per page. So you could go from 10 per page to 40 per page. You want to check the partnership status toggle to make sure that makes sense. And on point 2, you could also change the view so you get more information about the affiliates. So this is an example of the detailed view. As you can see on point 1, we have the type of affiliate. We then have the advertisers that they worked with, which is usually a good indicator. So this affiliate works with 140 different advertisers, which is generally positive. You then see different actions can be taken, such as view more information or inviting the affiliate or sending them a message if you want to find out more before you invite them. You can read the affiliate's profile information on 4, and then on 5, you can see, for example, how they rank in terms of different AWIN sectors. So for example, they are 36th for online gaming. So in terms of finding affiliates, again, make sure that you know what you're doing with the search functionality by following those instructions just shown. If you're going to send a message to an affiliate, personalized, it's generally not advised to send BCC or blanket type messages. They'd appreciate it a lot more if you personalize a message and say, give a reason why you want to work or approach them. Make sure it's easy for you to get in touch via having a phone number included in your message as well. And I would also say to keep a record of all the affiliates that you've approached. If you go on their profile pages themselves, you can actually start to harvest their phone number or email if those provided those. And again, you could put those into a spreadsheet and begin to either contact them through your email rather than using AWIN, although AWIN is probably the best way to get in touch with them. But just keep a record of who you've been speaking to. Next, on to monitoring affiliate performance, and there are 10 reports, and this is in the reporting tab. Before we go on to the reports themselves, just a tip on understanding how AWIN reporting works. The yellow line for pending just means that that sale hasn't been validated yet. Approved means a sale has been validated. A bonus is where you, for example, pay an affiliate a lump sum, perhaps for some media or for something else, and is displayed by the white line. And it's important to note that a bonus is always approved. So a bonus has approved status. Total value, which will be the total value of your pending and approved and bonus transactions, and declined will be the amount of transactions that have been declined and their value, represented by the red line. So the report you'll probably use the most is publisher performance. On point 1, you see you get a pie chart split for how they're performing. On point 2, you can toggle various filters. On point 3, you can customize the amount of results that are shown, and you can do other things, sort of changing the columns. Point 4 on options allows you to export an Excel or Google Docs friendly report. And on point 5, you can see a breakdown of performance within the dashboard itself. The other most commonly used report, or one you'll probably use the most again, is performance over time. Now, this doesn't give a view of individual affiliate performance. This is performance of the program. However, you can use the filters to look at individual affiliates as well. On point 3, again, you can use options to export an Excel-friendly report. And on point 4, you get a breakdown again. Publisher performance comparison just allows you to compare publishers over different periods of time. Again, use the filters from point 1. You can then export on point 2, or this is pretty easy and simple to use for just within the AWIN dashboard itself. So you're probably just going to use the filters and then point 3 to view breakdown. But if you do want to have a more detailed look at things, you can export. The transactions report, again, will probably be the third thing that you use the most. And again, it has a series of filters. Just want to draw attention to amended only. So there is a view where you can view any cells that you have amended. And again, just make sure that you understand the different transaction types when you are viewing this report. For example, you may only want to look at sales, or you may only want to look at bonuses that have been paid. It depends on what you want to do. On point 2, you can then export this report, and on point 3, you can again get a breakdown of what is going on. And the transactions report is generally used, I would say, for example, if you want to check spend. Commission group performance. So if you have different commission groups other than just the default, so by the standard amount of commission groups is 1, which is called the default that AWIN offer. But you can have different commission groups, say, for example, on different products or different categories, or however you need to do things. And this report will just give you a breakdown of that. The advertiser summary is pretty self-explanatory. It just provides a summary of transactions and spend, for example, over a certain period of time, and can also be done by publisher or transaction type. Product performance. So again, if you have different products tracking into AWIN, you can get a breakdown of how, say, for example, t-shirts or jeans, or how different things are performing for you. Device performance is where you can view how computers, tablets, smartphones, or if you have cross-device tracking enabled, how that is performing as well. It's maybe interesting if you want to see sort of sales split, or you need to optimize for affiliate traffic, for example, on desktop versus smartphone. You may want to look at any variances in the conversion and use that to sort of guide you in terms of optimizing those experiences for consumers. Creative performance is where you can view the performance of different banners and GIFs. So whether there's a static or GIF creatives that you upload into AWIN, and you get a range of data. And again, as per usual, you can use the options to export that data and the filters to change dates. And the year-on-year comparison is where you can get a really good breakdown of how you're performing over various years. And again, you can use the filters and options to export and change the view of the data. So in terms of monitoring affiliate performance, top advice is to get used to using the export function, because you can use that to create your own more detailed reports on Excel or within Google Docs. Explore, have a play, and get to know what each of the reports can do and how they can help. I would say to keep it simple though, there are 10 reports, so you may, not want to be harvesting loads and loads of data from AWIN or trying to use all these reports at once. Just stick to what's the most useful and then use any other reports when you feel they can be helpful. And just keep in mind that the reporting generally has a 24-hour lag, so it's advised to report on the day before and not to report on the current day. So next, we're going to do an overview of the Publishers tab. The opportunity marketplace is great. It's where affiliates post different opportunities that advertisers can access. You should use the relevant filters to get different types of opportunities that are suitable for you and your budget. For example, there are CPA only opportunities that you could access, and then you can review the different opportunities in their fullness by just clicking on the make offer button. But you can also, in this section, hidden parts, there's different information that the affiliates are saying about the offer in themselves. Publisher management is good for keeping track of affiliates that are on your program right now. You can use the export function to get a list of the affiliates that you're currently working with and also their contact details, as long as they've provided those. And you can also use the cog symbol to change the CPAs and other things in regards to individual affiliates. Publisher approvals is good. Always recommended to keep an eye on this. This will show you different affiliates that are applying to work on your program. You can use the appropriate tools to either accept or decline them. And I recommend you always provide a message if you're going to decline an affiliate, just as a courtesy and just to be polite and to maintain positive relationships with all affiliates. Publisher tags. So what you can do is apply a tag. So for example, you could label all your voucher code affiliates or cashback or editorial or influencers. And what you can do then is you can incorporate the tags into different AWIN reports as an additional filter on performance. So top tips are: use the opportunity marketplace to find different opportunities for your brand and take advantage of those. Get used to using the cog function in regards to just viewing the affiliate, and also if you need to change their CPA for anything. Always be polite and friendly, even if you are going to decline an affiliate. Make sure send them a message to say thanks for applying, but we're not going to preview for such and such a reason. And also make use of the tag function because it makes it easier to filter reports. Next, we're going to do an overview of the Toolbox tab. So first of all, the link builder. Now this is great for when you want to send affiliates a specific product or something else for them to promote. You simply put the URL in the destination URL. The format, so if it's not anything to do with email, you just make sure the format's toggled to URL, and then it will populate the tracking string in the deep link box below. And what you want to do is either have you or the affiliate, where it says !3 ID, where I've got it underlined in blue, make sure that their 6-digit affiliate ID is there instead of that. Otherwise, the link will not work. And make sure you test the link or have them test the link to make sure that it's working. In the My Creative section, you can upload banners. Simply go to Add Creative, or you can batch upload creative as well. And that's pretty self-explanatory. It's where all your creative will be housed in the different dimensions, etc. And you can either set the status of creative to active or inactive, depending on what you want affiliates to use. My offers, I highly recommend this. So what this does is it allows you to put all the voucher codes or sales or promotions or maybe anything else that you want affiliates to promote. What this actually does is it acts as a feed for the affiliate. So what they can do is they can export it onto their website and have it automatically update on their website depending on changes that you make. Adding a promotion is like adding a sale. Adding a coupon will require you to have a code, such as a voucher code. And what you can also do is use the exclusive function. So if you wanted to give a coupon code just to one affiliate, you can put it to them and mark it as exclusive. And then even if another affiliate, is a bit devious and decides to steal it and promote it on their website, only the affiliate that's marked as exclusive will be credited for any sales. And then you can go about policing any affiliates that are being devious and doing that. My product feeds, again, depending on what you're selling. So for example, if you're a clothing retailer, then it's highly recommended that you have a product feed, and the My Product Feed section will allow you to upload a feed for affiliates to automatically pull onto their own websites and environments. The News Manager and email campaigns approvals works as a way for you to communicate to affiliates en masse quite simply through AWIN. And in a similar way, the News Manager email campaign approvals and the AWIN Hub work also in the same way. The difference being that the Hub is somewhere where you can post an article or an offer or whatever it may be, and affiliates are on there looking for different things that merchants offer. So it's definitely worth getting on the Hub and also making use of these tools to communicate to affiliates. So, Toolbox tab overview. Make sure you test any links that you've created. Make use of the AWIN My Offers, upload a product feed where applicable, and use the tools AWIN have provided to communicate with existing and prospective affiliates. Now, we'll look at the Commissions tab. The Validate Pending Transactions and Batch Process Commissions options are, in a nutshell, how you will pay affiliates. Validate Pending Transactions is the more manual way of doing it, whereby you can see each line for each sale that's tracked through AWIN from affiliates, and you can either manually approve or decline. I'd recommend expanding the rows per page to the maximum, depending on how many sales you need to get through. The Batch Process Commission is where you can actually upload an Excel doc with all the sales that you have, and it will automatically either approve, decline, or amend those. So if you have hundreds and hundreds or thousands of sales, then it's definitely recommended that you do it this way. I just want to point out on point one, there is a way to automate this process. That's a conversation you will need to have with AWIN, and I recommend you have that conversation because this process can be very time consuming, and it'd be good to get it automated. Firstly, you want to make sure that the locale and format are all relevant. You want to, and number three, check out the different templates. So there's one template when you want to approve, one if you want to decline, and one if you want to amend sales. And those do have an example in there. Make sure you delete that before you upload the file. So use the templates to figure out what to do. And it really is a case of just copying what AWIN have already put in from the examples. Field names. So if the first row has naming conventions, then make sure that box is ticked, otherwise the file may not go through. If you have any amended commissions, so an amended commission is just where instead of being declined, you change the commission amount to be paid. There is an option to leave amended commissions as pending, so they're not necessarily going to be validated now. So use that accordingly. I'd recommend ticking to automatically remove any duplicates, and also to have a 0.7 an email notification for when the validation file has been processed, so you can check that all the lines have gone through correctly. So on to transaction queries. A transaction query is only relevant if you work with, I'd say, cashback affiliates. And it's usually where a customer raises a complaint because they've made a purchase via a cashback affiliate and haven't received their cashback. Now, to process these trans queries, again, you can use the manual method, or you can use the batch method if you say have a lot of queries you need to get through. I would highly recommend having a conversation with the cashback site before doing any transaction queries, and just making sure you have enough information so you can make a decision on if a customer should receive any compensation on missing cashback. Next, on to quite an important thing actually, adding a manual commission. This is how you'll pay affiliates for any prepayments. So again, you can do it as a batch or as a single. I typically do it as a single. On commission type, point 2, you'll want to use the toggle and change that to typically for bonus. But again, you can also use this to put through a sale, for example, that hasn't tracked correctly. You can use this tool to put that through so the affiliate receives a commission. But generally, it's used to pay bonuses, to pay for any prepayment. So again, toggle type 2 accordingly. Next, you want to add the affiliate's ID. You want to add the amount of sale. So if you're doing a prepayment, I typically just use the amount of sale at 1 pence. And then the amount of commission is actually what you're going to pay the affiliate. So for example, if it's a prepayment of £1,000 for a particular piece of activity, set that to £1,000. You then, on status, I typically have it as confirmed. So confirmed means it's paid immediately. Pending means you may want to go and pay at a later date. So do that according to your own budgeting and what makes sense for your business. I'll talk to the affiliate about the order reference and the click ref, so the IO number, just to make sure those make sense for the affiliate when they need to check their own records to see that you've paid. And I'd also tick to make sure the publisher gets an email that the bonus has gone through. The bonus manager can be used to basically set up criteria where affiliates can receive a bonus commission. For example, if they make 100 sales within a particular given time, they could get a bonus £100 or £500 or whatever it may be. You set the criteria according to what makes sense for you. The commission manager is where you can go and view your default commission that you have for your affiliates, or the commission that you have for different commission groups. So for example, you may have different commissions on t-shirts or jeans, or on different sorts of broadband packages or TV packages or whatever it may be. This just gives you a view of that and how to make any changes. And you can also amend the cookie window. So for example, it's typically 30 days. You can change it to whatever you need to change it to. You may need to get in touch with AWIN because they may need to action any of these changes on their end as well for them to take effect. Commission by basket value and assist are just two different ways to, again, incentivize affiliates for different things. So again, on varying degrees of basket value and what a customer spent. And assist just means, for example, what AWIN could do is allow you to pay a £1 commission to the first affiliate within a consumer journey that AWIN has tracked, whereas the last affiliate, so the one that converted them, will get the full CPA. But it just allows you to reward the first person or the third person or whatever it is. If you want to have some sort of affiliate attribution just for your affiliate channel and from what AWIN can track, then you can use the assist tool to do this. Scheduled commission changes is quite important. There are 5 steps to this process. And you start it by clicking on schedule a commission change. What it will allow you to do is, if I was to agree something with an affiliate for 30 days from now, what I can do is I can set that as a scheduled commission change. So then I don't have to remember to do it a month from now. The system will just do it automatically. One thing to note is that you'll have to contact AWIN if you want to reverse or undo a scheduled commission change. So just be careful and just double check everything you're doing within this tool. AWIN also offer cost per click campaigns if that's something you want to test and is relevant for you. And advice is to, again, double check everything and make sure that you're sure about everything that you're doing. Just make sure to query any changes. So if you haven't made a change for AWIN, have done it on your behalf, just again, query everything and make sure that that's all correct. You can test different rewards, so if CPC or commission by different average order values or spends is something you think could be appealing to your affiliates, then definitely test that out. But I'd say overall, just keep it simple. Some of those tools are quite powerful, and it's important that I would get used to using them maybe one at a time, or maybe seeking some help from AWIN, or you can drop me a comment or ask me a question or email me if you need any tips or advice. So that wraps up how to use AWIN. If you have any questions, my email address is here. And if you have any curiosities around wider affiliate marketing, you can get my book, The Advertiser's Guide to Affiliate Marketing. As ever, I really appreciate any likes. Please subscribe and share, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or feedback for me.